here keeping us company. Ella Langley, congratulations on your big CMA award win this week.
Much.
Where did you find out about this? Because this was like before the show that they announced this one.
In the car.
In the car?
Like 3 minutes before we pulled up.
Did you get like a phone call or did you see it on when we all saw it?
Well, a lot of my team were all kind of piled in like this little van getting over there to the red carpet, and everyone started to record me, which is not really weird because I feel like at this point everyone just is recording me at all times. And then one of the girls on my team got on the phone and she was like, "What? Okay." And then they put it on speaker and they're like, "You won."
Oh my God.
We're about to put up a little video. And I was, my date to the awards was Aaron Ratier, which is the other writer on You Look Like You Love Me. So we got told together, which was really, really exciting.
That's amazing. I was so excited for you. I just I will talk about this song a ton, but when I saw that, I was like, hell yes.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And then also the performance was incredible.
Thank you.
Like TV performances are really hard, especially in a room full of like all of your peers. And I just felt like you got up there and you owned it. And
thank you.
You looked like you'd done it 1,000 times.
I have done that song 1,000 times.
You've done that song 1,000 times. But
yeah, I think, but that's really what I just focused on. You know, I just kind of done that song enough times and feel like this year I've performed more. I mean, I've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
But this year definitely I've performed more than I have ever performed in one calendar year.
Oh my God.
And so I kind of just let all that out, you know.
Well, you did such a great job. So this is our first time like really sitting down, and I normally do like tons and tons of research before an interview, except when I'm sitting down with someone for the first time because I want to like know your story from you and not from Wikipedia. So I just want to know a little bit about you, like growing up in Alabama. Like, how did you get into music? When did that start?
It's been a thing my whole life. My grandparents on my dad's side, so my mom's from Michigan, my dad's from Alabama, so my mom's parents lived in Michigan pretty much my whole life, but my dad's parents lived a couple miles down the road, and they loved music so much. My grandpa could play any instrument by ear. He's one of 4, and so he's the second oldest, and I mean, they just grew up so poor. My grandma had my dad when she was 45, so they were kind of older when I was born.
God, yeah.
But God, they just loved music, and they had a piano out there, and my grandma could sing. Oh, she was just an incredible singer, and she sang the best harmony. And yeah, my mom worked, and that my grandma would pick me up. She would drive 30, 45 minutes every day, and so my mom always said I didn't ever sleep in my crib for, first 2 years of my life because she just sat there and sang to me. But so it's just been a thing my whole life, and I don't know, I have always wanted to do it. I don't remember a day not thinking about wanting to do this.
Wow.
I didn't know how it was going to happen. I just always, my whole life, you can ask anybody from back home, you know, when people ask me what do you want to do or what's your plan, I was like, I'm going to do music.
Yeah. So at what point did you were like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it, and decide to move to Nashville?
I don't think I ever knew how I was going to do it. I think it was really just one step at a time. I went to Auburn for 2 years after I graduated from high school. And I was playing. I found a band a month after I graduated, and we just started playing together. And I was playing a lot of like acoustic gigs. Me and my drummer, he had a cajon, had a band back in Alabama, and yeah, we just, played everywhere all the time. And then in college, I started to play all the college bars and 4-hour cover gigs, kind of transitioned from playing just the restaurants to those, and which is a different thing, obviously. And I always say, I know we're on air, so I'm not going to cuss, but just use your imagination here. But I say if I can get these people who don't give a crap about me to sing along, then I feel like one day when they do, it's going to be a little bit easier. And this year's the first time in my life that's really started to happen, But yeah, so after college, 2 years into college, I was dating a guy at the time, and there's a guy named Trey Lewis,
Yeah.
right. So I lived with him first. I just moved out away from him, so I moved in a house with my boyfriend who's doing music, his manager, and then Trey. And yeah, they all moved to Nashville, and I was like, I'm not staying here.
Yeah.
I'm not staying here. So I dropped out. I said, hey, Dad, I'm going to I'm going to drop out of college and move into a house with my boyfriend 4.5 hours away to pursue this dream.
How did that go?
You know, it's me and him are close, but my whole family, like, it's just, they've all just known and they've believed in me. And this is something I've wanted my whole entire life, very aggressively.
Yeah.
And I've worked for it. You know, I feel like the second I graduated high school, I mean, even in high school, I was playing weddings and I was bringing my guitar. I started teaching myself at 14. My grandpa passed away when I was 13, and I picked up his guitar about a year later. My dad got it restrung for me and started teaching myself. And so I've just been so dedicated to this dream, and I don't know. And it's funny because I didn't ever. When people were like, you know, did you think it was going to work out? It's like a yes and no answer, you know, not no in the way where it's like, no, I don't think it's going to work out. More, it's just like, it's a crazy thing to pursue. It's wild to move to this town where there are so many people and so many talented people, and it's a tough industry to make it into, you know, and especially, but I knew from a young age that if I did not pursue this job, I would regret it the rest of my life.
Yeah. I have chills for you. That's amazing. So then you move here. You've had a record deal since 2023, right?
I think
How did that like all come together? Because I know that's another thing. Like everybody, like that takes a lot of time sometimes.
Well, when I moved here, I was 20, and I was playing so many gigs, and I wasn't really writing a bunch. I've always written melodies. I've always sang, you know, and I kind of wrote songs. Like I would write a whole song with the melody, but lyrics were something, you know, like I would try, but it never was like a strong suit of mine. So that's why I moved here, and I was really patient with wanting to learn. You know, my mom would always say, "This is your college. This is your schooling to move there." And I wasn't in this massive hurry to move here and then just watch it explode. You know, I really wanted to learn, and I like I said, I want to do this the rest of my life. So there's so many things to learn, and being here just around people that are doing it every single day, that work so hard. This town, people all are just workaholics here. It never stops. But it definitely puts a fire under your butt, you know, when you're watching all these people work so hard, and you're like, oh my God, I need to be doing the same thing. And so I think that's when people ask me what's the benefit of moving here. I think, you know, or here or LA or Texas, or, you know, just in a space where you're surrounded by people that are wanting to do the same thing as you.
I think it's so interesting that you say that like you weren't in a hurry for things to happen overnight, because I feel like so many people are, especially with like the speed that can happen now. Like if you post a TikTok video in 24 hours, your whole life can change. Yeah. But I think that like you putting in the work, and like there's something about like people want to help someone who just wants to learn more than they want to help someone who just wants to be famous. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the fame thing's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's very weird. How are you handling that? Because I feel like it's really been thrown in your face like the last few months.
I feel like, you know, I can get along with anybody. I can talk to anybody. It's just weird. It's weird. I feel like people do expect you to like be or act a certain way all the time, you know, and it's like, I'm just a human being, you know.
No one's in the same mood all the time.
All the time, you know, and it's weird when people like when you're getting your nails done and somebody starts crying in the seat next to you because they're like, you're sitting there, you know. You're like, what? Yeah. Me? Like, it doesn't register in my brain at all. It's it does and it doesn't, you know. Like when I'm playing the shows, I just finished up my first headlining tour, and oh my God, man, it was the coolest thing. The band that I have now, my guitar player, he's played for Scott Stapp. I hired him. He left Scott. Well, he did both for a second because financially he needed to. But I'll never forget, I got my first tour with Randy Houser. Didn't have a record deal yet. I just had a publishing deal. This was in like 2022, I think. So like barely getting out of COVID. Like I remember we were still wearing masks and stuff at some of the venues. But I was like, hey man, I had a guitar player lined up, and he got a promotion in his job and had to leave. We played one whiskey jam together, and this guy had Trey Lewis has his MD. His name's Ben as well, and he just kept talking about this one guy. He's like, you got to reach out to this guitar player. You got to reach out to him. So I reached out to him. was like, hey man, it's $150 a show. We're getting in a van. It's going to be long drives. It's going to be exhausting. It's not going to, we're the ear situation, everything. Like, it was just, I'm running finances from a region account myself, where it is literally, we're just figuring it out. When I said yes to tour, I didn't have a band put together here in Nashville. And he was like, okay.
Wow.
He left PJs and a bus and security to be with me and to follow this. And same thing with my bass player, he came on around in June. His name is Rod Jackson. And then my drummer Howard Nunley came on around in August. So really all that first year I started to like tour as an artist. Not just cover gig stuff, but actual, playing music that I wrote. And so for us to play this headlining tour and have had all the shows that we've gone throughout the years where it's like, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. The drives, the everything, it's exhausting and it's hard. And it's just a lot of years of like, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. And we reached the point with this headlining tour where it was like, wow, like this is what we've been working so hard for. Because you can imagine what it would be like for people to sing your songs back. And trust me, I have a lot throughout my life, what it would be like to sing to a crowd of people singing my words back. But actually experiencing it for the first time and seeing the impact that songs that I wrote because I needed to, not because I was trying to have a viral moment or to impress radio or to impress songwriters or even my parents. It was, songs that I had to write because that's how I get through things in my life. And I use this as an outlet and I put everything into that. So to watch people sing those words, like it means something to them in the same way, and doing the meet and greets before when people were coming up and just telling me the stories they have attached to these songs. And, having a song like You Look Like You Love Me, this song's what it's doing is insane.
It's insane.
It's really insane. And it feels weird to say that. Like, I'm like, it feels boastful almost, but it's
but it's insane.
It's insane. And so it is a little nerve wracking when, all the shows are sold out and you're like, all right, do they know the other words to other songs, and they do. And it's not just songs in this record, there's people there that have been listening. I put out this song called If You Have To in 2021. And that song, I wouldn't have been able to be on that tour with Randy. I mean, I would have, but I would have been in a lot of debt, and it would have been really hard. So having fans that have supported me there from that song, I mean, I sound like a completely different person in that recording now, you know, and there's still people out there that listen to it and have their stories attached to it. And it's just cool when you're writing a song and you're like, I wonder if they're going to get what I'm trying to say when I'm writing this line or the idea behind this song. And when people come up to me and they're like, this song meant this to me because of this, I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted, and that's just, it's so cool. It's so
amazing.
Cool.
All right, let's talk about the single. So the first time I heard this, I remember being like, this is so different. It's so cool. It's so catchy. It's one of those things, like, you're immediately singing it the second that, like, I get out of the car and it's just like still playing in my head. And I remember thinking when I heard it, like, oh, this is so, like, what's going to happen with this song? And so I'm curious from you, like, when you were recording this, like, talking to the label, like, was there pushback? Like, was everybody like, this is never going to work if there's, like, the talking and the verses is so different from what's out there? Yeah. Or did everybody, like, kind of get it?
Well, both, really. Yeah. At first, I wrote the song with Aaron at first, and we didn't write it as a duet. We wrote it as a song for just me to play around the bonfire at Writers' Rounds, to make everyone giggle. And I grew up on all that country music, like Chris Christopherson, Johnny Cash, George Jones, Johnny Lee. There are so many that have that, David Allan Coe, that talking, storytelling aspect, and I grew up listening to that with my dad. I mean, the backseat of his truck is a lot of that. So, and Aaron right here, he has a couple other songs that are like that, and I've always, like, just loved how he wrote them that way. So I was like, let's write it like this, and we did. And I thought it was going to stay on my phone. I mean, I didn't think that people were going to get, I'm drunk and I'm ready. I was like, it's kind of a risque song a little bit. Yeah. And then Maya Hansen, she signed me to my publishing deal at Sony. And after we wrote the song, she just loved it. She tried to get me to put it out on my EP for Excuse the Mess.
Really?
And she's like, let me put it in the Dropbox. I said, no, don't put it in the Dropbox. It's for everyone to listen to. That's not the song. I didn't think I love the song, but I just didn't ever imagine it coming out, just because it is, it's a little bit of a risk.
You're kind of like, why would I even why even go through the process of everyone being like, hell no?
I just didn't think people were going to like it. I like it, but not everything I like, everyone likes. That's one thing I've learned. And she put it in the Dropbox without asking me for when we were picking songs for the record, and it was the last one on there, and it just this silly little work tape of us giggling in the room. We wrote the song almost 2 years ago.
Wow.
And everyone, like so many people on my team called me. My agent called me and he was like, what is this You Look Like You Love Me song? I was like, you like that song? He's like, I love that song. And so we cut it, and still wasn't a duet. I mean, the second verse was shorter, and that's what I do live. I do the verse that I originally wrote with it. Mm-hmm. And then right after we cut it, Riley asked us on tour. And so I was riding around listening to the cut. And I've known Riley for a while, and we're friends. We grew up on all the same kind of music, and we're both from Alabama. And when you're from wherever you are from, if you're from the same state as somebody else, you just kind of get things. You get it. You know what I mean? You're on the same level in a way. And so I just asked him. I was like, what would your opinion be on writing a second verse for this song? And then I put it out on my album. And I mean, we debated on it not being a single. We debated on so many different things. There were people on my team that are like, that were pretty hard pressed on me. They wanted me to sing the verses. And I said, I won't put it out. I will take it off the record and not do it at all if you try to make me sing the verses. Wow. Just because it's like, that's the point of the song.
It would be a completely different song.
I'm either going to not do it, or I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And that is one thing I will say with my team at Columbia and my management and really everyone, like they just trust me. They do. I have so much creative freedom. Mm-hmm. Everything. It's out of our brains, and they don't really give me a lot of pushback, but I do. Everyone was a little like, what is going to happen with this song? And even, Riley and I, we listened to it a lot on the tour, and we would play it in the green room, and after the shows we would play it for whoever was hanging out, and people loved it. And I think that started making us like, okay, maybe this song might do something. And then it got to time to where we were teasing, and we still didn't know that if it was going to be a single. I was just starting to tease stuff for the record, and I put up the one TikTok of me singing the first verse and chorus. I think it was just maybe the first verse or just the talking part, and it went insane.
Yeah, I remember this because I remember like just the buzz around like, oh my God, they're going to release it.
Yeah, we were on the West Coast, and before the show I was in my outfit and I just did a little TikTok to it. So we were pushing it, just me for a second, and then we did Red Rocks, and that's where we got a lot of the footage that we released to announce Riley being on it. But what really announced him being on it was what's funny is I wanted to do the song with him because I thought we would do it on tour the whole time, but we never did it, on tour the whole time, except for and everything worked out exactly how it was supposed to. So, but the last night of tour, he asked me to do Dreams a couple times randomly. He would get me to play it with his band, and then he'd walk off stage and get a drink or go pee or something, but so he's like, you want to do that other song, whisper to me, after we did the cover we'd been doing, which was In Color, Jamie Johnson. And I was thinking Dreams, so he takes his guitar off, he puts it on me, and I'm like getting the capo ready to go play Dreams, and he's like, we haven't done this song live yet. The band didn't know, I didn't know, no one knew. He just was like, and that's very Riley, he's just very sporadic, like whatever. He just, you got to be ready at all times for anything. And I was like, oh my God, he's talking about You Look Like You Love Me. And so we played it that night together. And the band kind of just followed along. And
what month was this? This would happen this year?
I think that would have been in June.
Early June?
Yeah.
My God. And that's the other thing about
July.
You guys winning the CMA award. I just feel like most of the time, it never is a song that just came out. You know what I mean? Usually it's something with a little more miles on it at this point. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, I just think that shows how powerful this song is. I said this to you the other day, but I was at a casino in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at like 1 a.m. walking back to my room, and at the bar in the middle of the casino, these people were like raging, and the song that was playing was "You Look Like You Love Me."
I haven't seen that. I don't ever hear it out.
I wish I would have taken
on the radio yet. I still no.
I wish I would have taken a video of it, but it just made me so happy because I was like, what a cool moment for country music. That like a song like this is doing really well. Yeah. I feel like, we take a lot of heat in country because it's everything but country. And I think that this song is just like as country as it gets.
Yeah.
And it's different from everything else. But like people were just scream singing it. And I was like, holy, and it's not like it was in a honky tonk. It was in a casino in Fort Lauderdale.
And I think too, just what I love about this song and what I do think people love about it is it's just a fun song.
Yes.
And that's the space I want to be as an artist. There's so many things going on in the world at all times. And I think for me personally, like, I just want to be a place for you to be able to sing a song like that and not be like, oh, what do you think about singing a song like that? Like, or there are deeper songs, but sometimes like it's just a place to not think about everything else, to kind of deep dive off into like what I'm trying to, what I'm singing and what we're doing and dancing and watching people sing this song at the shows, and they're all just hanging on each other. And it's really like, and they're singing it to me, but they're singing it to each other too. Yes. And that's what's so cool. And you can tell that there has like been some memories made already with this song. And it's so cool. I mean, it's like, it's hard to explain.
It's really awesome. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
I think that this is like, I think this will go down as like even bigger than we know it is right now.
It feels
with as big as it, you know what I mean? Like,
objectively, it's very hard to see something happening for yourself like this and look at it like how, when I see like Megan Moroney, when I was watching all that happen for her, it's so easy for me to see like, wow, like she's crushing it. She's doing insane things. But I bet for her, it's a little like, what? Me? So I feel like that's kind of how I feel, where it's like, you spent so long trying to convince everybody that you're going to do this, that now like people are like, you're going to do this, like they're convincing me.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. It's nuts.
I just think there'll be a moment, like I remember someone said to me once, they were like, Hardy's one beer doesn't exist without Eric Church's Two Pink Lines. And to me, like in 10 years, there will be someone who like, that'll be like, this song doesn't exist without Ella Langley and Riley Green on You Look Like You Love Me. Like, I just think it's gonna change things.
Yeah. Aaron, the other writer, was already saying that he's had some rights set up, and they're like, we're looking for a talking song. And it's like, next thing you know, there's gonna be like no singing on the radio.
Yeah. It'll be real interesting to see what happens. But no, it's so great, and I'm really excited for you. 2025, the tour's already sold out. Like, that feels great.
One day.
I love that's nuts.
That's what I'm saying. Objectively, it's so hard to look at that and be like, for me, who's paying y'all to do this? I saw Taylor Swift. I watched her do an interview once, and this a couple years ago, and she said, I could be on the front row of an award show and be nominated for the most awards that night and still not feel like the coolest person in the room. And I was like, oh God, I feel like I relate to that, because it's like, I didn't, when I thought about doing this my whole life, I didn't think about what it would be like to walk somewhere and somebody knows who you are, and to just the kind of the pressure that having fans puts on you a little bit, and like putting your life out, for everyone to see. And I do think there are things that I keep to myself, and I always will, because
keep doing that.
Well, it's just, I think people put a lot of expectations on, I guess you could say, celebrities or people in the public eye, on what they should be doing, saying, thinking, and it's at the end of the day, like I keep saying, I'm just a human being, and I have never done this before.
Yep.
All this stuff is first for me, and I mean everyone that's doing anything, so I think the grace that comes with that is very limited sometimes with people in the public eye.
Well, and I have felt for you, because I feel like every interview or something about this song with you or Riley, like everybody's like, oh, are you guys?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
they're like trying to, you think we're going to give you a different answer, like.
I know, but I also feel like whether you are or you aren't, or like whatever, like it's so invasive.
It is.
And I've seen that, and I've just been like I hate that part of it for you. Like from a distance, it feels a little like, ugh.
doesn't suck just because it's it's normal. It's that is
everybody
what, that
wants
is,
to believe in something
that is a
like
little
that.
bit
Yeah.
of the lure. That is the
Yeah.
when somebody's having a hard day, then going in and like searching if me and Riley are dating is like takes an hour of them through TikTok, you know what I mean? And that was like something for them to like deep dive off into, sure.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how like I look at it to get through it.
No press
in
is
a
bad
way.
press. Like it was definitely good.
Right. And I think that honestly, I just thought it was going to go the complete opposite way. I was worried about putting out a song with him in the first place, just because I mean, it's Riley Green. Like that's all I really have to say.
Yeah.
And I like, playing shows this past year with him, first of 3. There's a lot of people that didn't know who I was, and and so some of the girls in the front row were like, oh my God, just like so annoyed at me. I'm like, well, like I'm just up here trying to sing my songs.
And again, this is my song.
Yeah, I'm just up here trying to sing my songs. But they're like before the song even came out, you know what I mean? So I was like a little worried that I was like, oh my God, are all these girls are about to attack me because I'm putting out a song with Riley? But it went such the opposite way. And I was like, the girls have my back. Wow.
The girls have your back, and you're also like giving everyone confidence to walk up to a man in a bar.
I know. And what's so cool is they're like, I do feel like the fans, it's funny because the interviewers a lot of the time are the ones that are trying to get it out of us, but like a lot of the fans are like, yes, whatever happens, yes,
Yeah, we just love the song.
Yeah,
which is what it's all about.
But we're both from Alabama. I think we all knew. I mean, I did a song with Co Wetzel. People thought the same thing.
Yeah,
I did a song with Cameron Marlowe. I think people
You'll never get away
thought
from
the same
it.
thing. He's engaged, so like.
People are crazy, but you just keep doing what you're doing. I'm so glad that I got this time with you. Like I feel like you're doing all the right things for all the right reasons, and keep doing that, and great things are going to keep happening for you, girl.
Thank you so much.
It's so nice to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.